Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the latest episode of Elite City, the AEW podcast that myself, Mr. Blasco, and my co-host, Mr. Rick. Hey, say hello.
Hi, how are you? I mean, they're not going to answer back, so yeah, that was kind of weird.
Hey,
that might have been the worst intro yet, but let's carry on.
Thank you. I practiced that all day.
And it's a big AEW week too, and that's how I'm starting it, by asking questions into the void.
Yes, yeah, big week. I mean, last week, so much major happened in such a little amount of time. It was crazy. The opening of Dynamite last week. Thoughts?
So the actual opening of Dynamite, or the part that's been scrubbed from the internet with MJF?
The part that's been scrubbed from the internet.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about there, obviously.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can vouch for this. This isn't me making anything up. I texted you. It was an amazing promo, pipe bomb, whatever you want to call it. I just thought it was too long. I thought less would have been more. But my God, at first I was on the fence. I thought it was total shoot, but then you brought up a good point. No way they would have ever given a live mic on a night that they're trying to sell the execs commercial time.
Right. And that's the new news today. I don't know if you've heard that apparently the reason it's been pulled from everything is because the Warner Discovery people are upset about it.
Oh, well.
Which I think that's a work. I think they just throwing that out there to work people, but
I think the whole thing is a huge elaborate plan involving many, many, many people. And I'm going to get to my theory on that, but we'll just go back to rating and what I thought of it. He wasn't wrong with anything that he said.
Yeah, that's actually my problem with it. So I like W made it into an angle because there was a whole thing on the internet about whether or not MJF was going to show up. Well, everyone knows all that. Right. So I like that they made, if that wasn't a work, say that part was true, say he really was upset and was thinking of not showing up for the event, turning it into an angle makes a lot of sense because everyone was already talking about it. So that makes perfect sense. The issue I have is a good promo. I mean, you can nitpick the content of the promo, but good promo. The issue with it that I have is MJF is a heel. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be a heel. He's a bad guy. And you're right. He wasn't wrong about any of the things he said. But isn't he the heel?
Yes.
That's the only issue I have with it. Like when you see WWE and you've had, Punk's pipe bomb or Austin McMahon or who else was I thinking of? Even like DX going against McMahon or Roman Reigns or the Shield going against the McMahons. All of that works because WWE has positioned themselves as like the heel company. Vince McMahon is a heel. Stephanie's basically mostly a heel. Shane is mostly a heel. Like they're bad. The ownership management are bad guys in WWE.
Right.
But that's not the case in AEW. Like everybody likes Tony Khan. AEW fans like Tony Khan. And when he's railing it, when MJF's like, "Oh, I don't like all these XWD guys coming in," but the thing is, the fans do.
Yeah.
We're happy that Punk and Danielson and Adam Cole and everybody, like, we want them there.
100%.
So it's weird that it seemed like a face promo because he wasn't lying, like he was telling the truth. He was like being himself, like that. Those are all, anti-hero face things to do. But he's a heel. Like MJF is like the worst guy on the roster in like storyline purposes. Like he's a terrible person. So why should I care if he doesn't make money? You know what I mean?
That's exactly what me and you were saying back and forth as it was happening. Like, I didn't feel anything for him. I mean,
Right.
to me, I think I used the term crybaby. That's what it
Yeah.
looked like to me, or spoiled brat or something. It's like, okay, you're rich and you want more money.
Right.
I don't see the
Like
problem.
like going back to Austin or Punk or anything. I mean, when Austin was mad at McMahon, it was because Vince wanted him to be someone he wasn't, and he was trying to like make him conform.
Yes.
And when Punk was mad at McMahon, it was because he was being held down and like wasn't given opportunity and wasn't given chances and didn't get to be a star. MJF's not mad about those things.
No.
He's only mad that he doesn't get paid more.
Right.
And like, why do I care?
Yeah.
Why am I supposed to care? Like, if he comes out and he goes, I make less money than CM Punk, and I'll be like, yep, you do. You should. Good job.
Yeah.
And even if he shouldn't, it's not like there's like a AEW salary cap where like, oh, now they're going to have to cut MJF because they signed up. No, that's not the case. Like, I don't. Promo wise, good promo. I like the opportunity for the storyline. Like, there's so many places this could go. They're all really good.
Yes.
There's a couple that could be very bad, so I hope they don't go down that road. I'll discuss that later.
Okay.
But I don't see why I should care if MJF makes more money or not.
Yeah, I agree. Now, this is I'm going to break into a little of my theory here. This whole thing from beginning, like months back, I think MJF has not only re-signed. I think he re-signed for a long time ago, and they let it leak, and they're playing the long con. I mean, this is right up Punk's territory. It's just an old school swerve.
Right.
So you let that out, blah blah blah. You let some things out. Oh, he's a little upset about this. He's a little upset about that. Oh, there's rumblings. Oh, he's not in. MJF's not in like the inner circle anymore with Tony Khan. Or yeah, right. They're probably obviously on their burner accounts, probably laughing it up, in my opinion.
Right.
Now this gets to Punk coming out and saying that he's injured. I also think that is fake.
Okay.
And I think this is all part of the swerve in the grand scheme of things. They all three set this up because, like, it's like, oh my God, they have no champion now. Oh my God, MJF, what's he going to do? Oh, they're going to try to put the belt on him. Oh, wait, no, he's taken off TV. He's this. Okay, Punk never gave up the belt, so there's going to be an interim champion, which literally could be anybody. And that is what excites me. And I'm calling it, it's going to be MJF.
That makes a lot of sense because if MJF was mad about, the WWE guys are getting better treatment than him,
Mm-hmm.
you could say, oh, how come when Punk is injured and can't defend the title, he doesn't have to give up the title? How come he gets to keep it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's another example of like how the WWE guys are treated better. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the crowd is, I mean, MJF, I mean, it was beloved by the crowd. Like AEW crowds, everybody knows it's this quote unquote smart crowd.
Right.
He could play the heel all day and they're just going to eat it up.
Right.
He's going to be the biggest, he's going to be a babyface maybe by the end of summer.
It feels like that's where this has to go because anytime you get like an anti-authority, I'm telling the truth when no one else will type of guy, he becomes the face. Like that's how that works.
Yeah, because I always say Eddie Kingston is the everyman. Well, MJF would be the everyman, as in he gets to say the things that I actually feel about my work environment or unfair treatment or this, that, or the other.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He'll be like the I can't say anti-hero because he's built well. He's very athletic, but he'll be like the mouth of the anti-hero, the quote-unquote voice of the voiceless, as Punk was.
That's something I didn't think of. People could get behind him because maybe they don't care if he makes more money, but they want to say the things he's saying to their boss.
Yeah, and
I should be paid more. People came here after me. They're not. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And then it's literally him versus everybody else. So
right,
the story writes itself. It could be literally anybody.
Right. No, I like that. I didn't think of that. That's good. I like that. I like the strength. I like this angle more now. Very nice.
Well, then that was just my opinion. Let's hear yours.
No, that makes a lot of sense. The only thing I'm wary of that I don't want this to turn into,
okay.
and because of the Hangman Page promos before Double or Nothing, and then now this Pipe Bomb promo, which kind of fit into each other. Punk saying, Page saying that he has to protect AEW from Punk, and then MJF being mad at the WWE guys getting treated better than him. I just hope this doesn't turn into like an AEW Originals versus ex WWE guys thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I don't want it to be like two stables fighting each other. Like if it's MJF and he has his own thing and he's like, running his own angle against the company, that's fine.
Right.
I just don't want it to turn into like a faction versus faction. Like that would never work.
Yeah, I agree. It's I don't want to say it's played out, but for some reason it literally never works.
Yeah. It would work better if, like you said, if he's just a one guy who has like his like own crusade.
Yeah, like I'll say whatever everyone in the back's too scared to say.
Right.
I that's what I foresee it turning.
There are a lot of really good places for it to go, and especially the interesting aspect of after the promo and when they went on commercial break, Punk came out, to try to calm him down, and he left.
Yeah.
It's a really cool dynamic of like now 10 years later, now Punk is the company guy coming down to like calm down the angry ranting guy. It's a good dynamic.
Yes. It's like almost scary how 180 it is.
Yeah, like now he's the Cena. He's the favorite guy who like the company loves, and he gets on all the merchandise and he gets on all the ads, and yeah.
Well, everyone in AEW doesn't work full time, but I was going to say, he even gets to go home every week, but it's
right. and him not having to give up the title feeds into that. I know that they've done interim titles before because Cody was gone for like a week, so they did one, but so it fits and like it's consistent with what they've done before. But you could say, how come he doesn't have to? How come he gets to stay champion? Right. And MJF could even say like, I wouldn't get to do that because we don't. Maybe he wouldn't. We don't know. Right, but he could say that.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so many ways that this could go.
I think actually the problem but the negative aspects I'm looking at is because I'm looking at it from like how WWE would book this. I think.
Well, they had ruined it already.
Because that's what I have in my mind when I think of angles like this is like WWE stuff. And I feel like, they would have ruined it already. They would have replayed it on their YouTube channel and had a new MJF t-shirt this week that would immediately kill it.
Yeah.
Them pulling it off the website, and like if you read the recap on AEW's official website, like of Dynamite, it's not on there. And like taking him off everything, like that's good. Like that's amazing.
Yeah. That's why I said in my opinion, he signed like so long ago, and he is making the money, and so that's why he could just shut it all off right now.
Right, he doesn't need to like sell T-shirts right now.
Yeah, because he knows when he comes back that these couple weeks or however long he's going to be out. I don't know.
But I hope they keep him out for a while because that was one of the biggest problems with the WWE Summer of Punk is he was gone for like 3 weeks or something. Or if that, and then just came back.
See,
I would like for him to be gone for a little bit longer so that you stop thinking about it. Like you don't think about MJF coming back, and then one day he comes back.
That would be great.
Like give it till after Forbidden Door.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And if he ended up winning the interim title, like not even in this little tournament they're having, like say like Moxley wins it, and then MJF wins it 2 months from now, right? And Punk's still not back. You could have the moment much like 10 years ago with Cena and Punk, where MJF's in the ring with the belt, and then Punk shows up and he also has the belt, and they like stare down, both holding titles. It Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be wonderful. Oh, it just gets the brain thinking and the blood pumping. And,
Yeah, I think I'm just wary of them ruining it, but I actually don't think they will ruin it.
yeah, yeah, this is
because
such
they've played it. They've played it really well so far.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was just going to agree with you on that. It's it's like it was, but and I'm just tripping on my word. It's like it was like movie planned out. Like that's nobody's leaking it. They all understand what's going on, and it was just it's done so perfectly.
And I know that people will say like, "Oh, Tony Khan and MJF would work the writers, and they work the journalist, and they'd work the Twitter." But would they work their own company? Like according to Sean Ross Sapp, like he's talked to other guys in AEW who were like, "No, I don't know anything about this. It's all real as far as I could tell." Like wrestlers.
Yeah, and
I think
like,
they might work other wrestlers.
see, I just think everybody's in on it, and they're
Or
like,
they're
no,
all in on it and just not saying anything.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's like the old school mentality backstage, like with when the NWA was going to put the belt on Flair. All those guys knew that, but
right.
Nobody went to the dirt sheets. Nobody. I mean, there was no internet then, but people didn't even tell their own wives.
Yeah, and that's actually who was it? I don't remember the wrestler now. Somebody was blinded in an angle in like the 80s. It was like an NWA guy. I don't remember who it was. Somebody was like blinded on TV, like they threw fire in his eyes or something, and he was blinded. So he just in his community, he was blind. Like when he went out, he was blind.
That's amazing.
I forget who it was now, but yeah, and I think that's actually one of the reasons that Punk said he was impressed with AEW is because when Brody Lee was sick, no one leaked anything.
Yes, yeah, that's a great point.
So I mean, they've showed their ability not to leak if they're told not to leak.
Yeah, and really, like Tony Khan, like unlike in WWE, like when you have the full like corporate office, Tony Khan doesn't have a whole corporate office of people. It's literally him and a bunch of like wrestlers, new school and old school. So
yeah,
if he said, "Hey, don't let this go," pretty sure everybody kind of would know. Okay, this is big. We're not going to say a word.
Yeah, and I mean they've probably told the Bucks and Kenny Omega maybe, but like that's it.
Oh no, see, I'm on the. I think everybody knows.
Or they told everybody. Yeah, that's possible too.
Just held a big entire meeting, and he said, "Look, this is what we're doing. In the grand scheme of things, it's going to make all of us a lot of money, but not one sentence of this can leave this group of people."
Right.
And then here it is playing out in real time, and like, I read on Twitter while it was happening. I think I even mentioned it to you. Like a guy, everyone was going, "Is that a work or is that a shoot?" Blah blah blah. And a guy was like, "Has to be a work because if it was a shoot, Kingston would have went out there and killed him."
Right.
He said this place was bad, and like Eddie loves AEW so much.
Yeah, like the promo was 100% a work. There's no.
Yeah.
The fact that even there were people on the internet who were like, I don't know if that was like they wouldn't have given him a live mic. There's zero chance. If you have a disgruntled employee who just no-showed an autograph signing and threatened not to show up for your pay-per-view, you're not going to go, "Oh, you know what? Next show, let's give you a live mic. You can say whatever you want."
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
Exactly.
It's definitely interesting, and it has so many cool places it could go.
Oh, yeah. How many times have you watched it?
Yeah, lots. And people have talked about it. I mean, it's like a week, almost a week later, and everyone's still talking about it, even though, the other huge stuff has happened.
Yeah. Well, let's just go into
the other huge stuff.
Yeah. Well, just, right after the pipe bomb, when we come back from commercial, the first thing we get is apparently challenging God to a match, and then saying
that was amazing.
What a way to what What a perfect way to MJF complains about WWE people, and they're getting all this over him. They cut him off, and then they run a staged promo of a guy challenging God.
I saw a tweet. I think I sent it to you. I don't remember who it was by now, but it was MJF. Therefore, I feel that in regards to other free agents, I should be paid. Miro, I will destroy God.
Yeah, yeah, you sent me. It was so good.
I watched that again before we did this podcast just to be like, he actually did threaten to kill God, right? And I'm like, yep, he did.
Yes, he did.
All right.
Hey, he's the Redeemer. And,
yeah, that was awesome.
And a great point that you pointed out as we were watching the show live. As soon as MJF, his promo's over, they do the Miro thing, and it's Miro, and he's versing another WWE guy. So there were two WWE guys in the ring.
I think Buff Bagwell actually pointed that out on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect booking.
Yeah, perfect.
And there was literally a WWE person in every match.
Right. Right.
It was definitely on purpose.
And I liked because, I mean, they ignored the promo, which I said I liked. Like the announcers didn't mention it again. They didn't say anything about it. But I love just the image of MJF being like, all these XW guys get treated better than me, and I'm ignored. And then they come back to two XWB guys, and they're ignoring him.
Yes.
It was great.
It was, yeah. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Well, I do know the outcome is going to be eventually him facing Punk. Right. But how they're going to get to that, like,
yeah, I really want to know how they're going to get there, and if they're going to try, if he's going to be, an anti-hero guy or a face or a heel, like, is it going to just be him? Is it going? Yeah, is Tony Khan going to ever end up on TV? I really hope he doesn't, because I don't want him on TV. No, not him personally. I just don't like the authority figure is on TV thing. It's overdone.
Yes, and Tony is, no offense, Mr. Khan, if you're listening to this. I hope you are, though. But he's a terrible actor.
Yeah, he's really not good on the mic.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him a lot, and he does a lot of good things, but, like, compared to Vince McMahon, on in-ring character, Vince McMahon is better at this. Oh. Like, he's not better at a lot of stuff, but he's better at this.
Yeah, Vince is his character and his portrayal of who he was / is, that was a perfect character. I don't care.
I think the on-screen authority thing should have died after, like, Eric Bischoff did it and Vince McMahon did it, and then they should have never done it again.
Yeah.
It's like either of them doing it, they were good at it, but we don't need, like, every week so I don't want Tony Khan on TV. I don't want him to be, like, a character. I like when he comes out and it makes announcements, like he bought Ring of Honor. Yeah. But he doesn't need to be a character on the show.
No, not at.
And I don't think he wants to be, so I hope he isn't.
Yeah, I don't think he does. And yeah, I think he just enjoys being a fan. Like, I don't think he wants to be part of it. I don't know though.
Yeah, so it's going to be really cool to see where this goes, and I don't know how long. I hope they stretch it out. I hope it's a really long angle.
Yes.
The interesting thing, look, we were all hoping for last week. We were saying, it's going to be a new Summer of Punk, Summer of MJF.
Yeah.
Which, like, nobody expected it to be, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Oh, 1,000% is going to happen, and like I said, we just saw, like, step maybe one. That might have been like part A of one.
Right.
But now going back to, I claim that Punk's injury is also a work. How do you feel about that?
I didn't think of that until you mentioned it. I mean, it would make a lot of sense. And if it's not a work, the only reason I don't think it's a work is because Punk is, like, their big draw, and him not being on TV, especially if he has to miss Forbidden Door in Chicago, I feel like that's too big of a draw to take away for an angle.
True.
That's the only reason I don't think it's an angle. But I think if he legitimately is injured, they can work it into an angle very easily.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. The one thing is, I hope that, nothing super serious, but I mean, people have been, from what I've said, from what I saw on Twitter, like there have been rumors of surgery, but I don't know how true that is. And I just hope it's something he can at least be at the shows every week.
Right. Yeah, if he can't wrestle. I mean, he was walking. I mean, he hurt his foot from what we can tell. But, yes. I mean, he was limping a bit, but he was still walk. Like, he could walk.
So, yeah, hopefully it's not, anything super major. And, I just don't want him to injure himself more, but I hope he can at least stay as a face on TV.
Right. They do with this angle going forward, I really hope that they don't involve having Chris Jericho announce it.
Oh, that was so bad.
Because he totally screwed this up.
Yes.
Like CM Punk comes out and is like, I said I would relinquish the title, but Tony Khan says no, so I'm not relinquishing the title. And 10 seconds later, he's relinquishing the title. And then they go to commercial and they come back, and right after the commercial, he's relinquishing the title. And we're like, I guess he is. And then they're like, no, he's actually not.
I had no idea what was going on.
And then Excalibur is trying to explain it, but he's also calling the match at the same time.
Yes, it was Jericho's.
So he's like, on Wednesday, we're going to have a battle royal, and there's Dante Martin, and oh, look, here's Dan Lambert, and in the battle royal will be.
Yeah. He did get it all in, though.
Yeah. I know that from what I could tell that they only decided this day of the show, because that's when they realized that they needed to have, according to the story I read, that's when they realized they needed to have an interim champion. So they only decided this that day.
Okay.
So I can get that they didn't have it all for me. I didn't have it a script ready, maybe to read. But the way they presented it on Friday was the most confusing way I've ever heard anyone explain anything.
I think I responded to you. You said, did he just relinquish the title? And I was like, I don't think. And 10 seconds later, he said he did. I went back and rewound my TV. I rewound the show. And I was like, no, Punk definitely didn't say that.
And then if you were on Twitter,
everyone's talking about.
And then if you were on Twitter at the same time, I think it was all the Twitter, the wrestling journalists like Meltzer and Alvarez and all of them were live tweeting it, going, Punk has not relinquished the title, and then Punk has relinquished the title, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. What is going on?
It was.
And then they decided that they said that the winner of the Battle Royal will face Jon Moxley, which they didn't explain where Jon Moxley came into this. Yeah. They did later, but not on the show. Yes. And then they said Jon Moxley will be competing for the title at Forbidden Door, but they didn't say against who, or it was all very. It was a lot. I mean, it worked itself out, but
it did. And I was gonna say, hopefully there'll be a better explanation on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, it is confusing because I think they issued a press release on it, and the press release was 4 or 5 paragraphs explaining it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I read that this afternoon.
So there's the Battle Royal, which featuring many of the top competitors. Doesn't say how many people are in the Battle Royal.
Oh, that's a good point. I was gonna ask you that.
Then it says the same night they'll meet the winner of the Battle Royal will face Jon Moxley, and Tony Khan explained why it's Jon Moxley. And the reasoning is, I have to find his actual tweet, but his reasoning was that Moxley has the best record, basically, of everyone. Other than televised record. He has a 7-0 televised record, and the only person who also has a 7-0 record is Anthony Ogogo, but those were primarily on Dark. And against and quality of opponents matter, so Moxley's ranked higher. Though it was a little weird because they usually release the rankings on Wednesday.
Right.
And in the Wednesday rankings, Wardlow was ranked number 1.
Oh.
Well, but then by the Friday rankings, Moxley was ranked number 1.
It was so awesome. That makes so much sense now. Wardlow just tweeted out before we started earlier a picture of himself in brand new gear, and it said something about "Get well soon, champ. Had this specially made for you."
Right.
Get well soon, or something, or see you soon. And that was so awesome. Well, obviously that was a little tease for something that maybe Wardlow would skip the TNT title and just go right into the world title.
Right.
Crazy.
And so then the other half of they're having like a bracket. The other half of that bracket is Tanahashi is facing, and I'm going to destroy this name.
Okay.
Hiroki Goto.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is?
I looked him up earlier. I had no idea who it was.
So he's not winning. It's going to be Tanahashi, from what we can tell.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's somebody in Japan as far as like, if you really followed New Japan, you would know who he was.
Right.
But he's not one of the people that, I don't follow it to the T. I know like the stars. So
Right. So then anyway, the winner of the Japan side and the winner of the AEW side will face each other at Forbidden Door.
Okay.
To name an interim champion, and then they said CM Punk will challenge the interim champion as soon as he's able to do that.
Now, if all that is MJF.
So that's the thing. Who's gonna win on Wednesday? We have no idea who's in this battle royal, but who do you think?
Personally, I'm going with MJF. I think he's gonna get in it somehow, and like you said, we don't know who's in it or how many people. If they're gonna come down to the ring separately or all at once. I don't know, but I'm hoping they do like Royal Rumble style, like every 90 seconds or something.
Right.
And they just don't. I hope they're all surprises.
Yeah.
But
then is MJF will have to face Tanahashi at Forbidden Door.
I would take that.
Yeah.
I mean,
my thinking is Moxley's going to win to go to Forbidden Door, but I don't know who he's going to face.
Well, that's what that his dream, Moxley's dream match is Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Danielson also said he wanted him too. So I mean, Danielson could be in the Battle Royal.
Right.
Then we could get Moxley versus Danielson. That's more WWE guys, though. Sorry, MJF.
Yeah.
I'm putting MJF over all night and burying him at the same time. Like, it'd be so much cooler if he did it this way.
I mean, I was looking at, we don't even know, is like Hangman Page going to be in it?
Right.
Because he's the former champion. But then why is he in the Battle Royal? Why is he not the Moxley? Why is he not the person they go on to face, right? Like,
well, I guess you could go into like, I think they do rankings the way that the old NWA did rankings. Like, because Hangman lost, he's automatically at the back of the line.
Right.
So, like, no matter what his record was,
that makes sense.
You have to win a couple matches and then you'll leapfrog a few other people.
Right.
Pretty sure that's how they do it. Don't quote me.
That makes sense.
But I think that's how they do it.
Well, when they did rankings on June 1st on a Wednesday, it was Punk and Scorpio Sky as the champions, and then Wardlow, Adam Cole, Hangman Page, John Moxley, Jay Lethal. That was what they originally had the rankings as. But then on the 3rd, they redid rankings, which I guess it makes sense to redo the rankings. If the champion's injured, to redo the rankings, to have them up to date makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So now it's Moxley, Wardlow, Page, Adam Cole, Jay Lethal.
It'd be neat if they just gave us 5 all in the ring at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, not the top 5, top 4, because Moxley is not part of the Battle Royal. The winner faces Moxley, correct?
Right.
That night too.
Yeah. So I feel like my thinking is the person who's going to face Moxley my guess is they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they're going to have them lose, and then their excuse for them losing is they already had to wrestle once tonight. Moxley didn't have to.
I mean, this could put Wardlow through the stratosphere.
Yeah, so then they don't have to. They don't have to necessarily job to Moxley, because maybe they can be in the Battle Royal and they can get worn down in the Battle Royal, and then they're not at 100% when they face Moxley. So it could be anyone at that point. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, I don't want this guy to lose right away, because they have an out. I mean, if it's like, I was thinking it could be Miro, and the reasoning for, again, you don't want Miro to lose right away, but this explains it.
You could do that all day. That makes perfect sense, especially if they let the match go. Like, give it they could say he's been in there 25 minutes. Now he has to do it again. Like, good call. That's definitely what they'll do.
So then, then it opens up to anybody. I mean, it could, and if you think they're going to lose to Moxley theoretically, which I think they will, I don't know, but then it could be anyone because it doesn't have to be someone you could see as world champion. It just has to be someone you want to give a rub to.
Yeah, that's why I just said Wardlow. I mean, they could, if they let Wardlow win. I mean, he's already riding that wave, and then he could, like you said, he'd lose to Moxley, and then it doesn't. I mean, it positively affects him.
Yeah, and he could like he eliminate a bunch of guys in the Battle Royal or something to make him look extra strong. Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun. I still want MJF to
win. Do you think, you mentioned it earlier, do you think there'll be a wild card or a joker?
I hope so. And I hope, if in this case, I didn't want it to be somebody new. I wanted it to be MJF.
Right.
Like, just hear that music hit, and that crowd's gonna go nuts.
Now, would it be MJF or could it be, a guy in a mask who has a different name?
Well, that was I saw someone had a theory on that today on Twitter. I know MJF, he does have one tattoo, which, I mean, you can cover up a tattoo. His is pretty light. But if they put MJF under a hood or put him in like a full body suit or something, and had that person win, say they were from, I don't know, say they were a luchador from Mexico or something.
Right.
But the only thing with that is, like, okay, that's the biggest, like, we're not two. Like, right. You would see through that a mile away. So you might as well give it to the guy.
If a guy in a mask comes out, you'll immediately think it's him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, it's obviously MJF, or that's obviously, it's not.
You're not going to think it's like L Wrestler or whoever they say it is, right? Yes. Like,
right. It's going to be.
Let's just let Danhausen win it. Let's just let Danhausen win it.
I'm 2,000% on board with that, because that's his dream match. His
but like, Danhausen wins it, but he doesn't actually do anything. Like, Hook eliminates everybody else. And then Danhausen curses him, and he just leaves the ring.
Or he throws a bag of chips over the ring, and Hook goes over the top of
right.
On purpose.
Right.
It is. Perfect. Writes itself.
There you go. That's the angle.
Yeah, that's the new angle. Oh, that was fantastic.
But I mean, you could have anybody win it. You could have, Eddie win it. You could have, someone younger. You could have Dante Martin win it. Because them the losing to Moxley in that sense would be good, right? He had a 20-minute battle royal, and then he had to fight a 20-minute match against Moxley, and maybe it's a post loss, and so anybody could lose, anybody could be there.
Yeah, it's not gonna negatively affect anybody, and that literally anybody in the world. But if Sammy comes back and wins it just for you, Ray,
people would be so mad.
Good.
Sammy should come back, but then say that he injured his pec muscle and can't wrestle.
Oh man, that would be so incredible.
I would like that.
But that should also never happen.
No, it should also never happen.
I'm just gonna leave that out there. The people that are defending him, it's not 1970 anymore. Like,
right?
Medicine, like. Okay, you're tough. We get it. And that was tough, but also dumb.
Yeah, and I don't want to go into a whole thing because it's not a WWE podcast, but okay. I get where he's coming from, that it was the main event, and I mean, their roster's pretty thin to begin with, and he kind of felt like he had to. But yeah, it's, I mean, I guess you could say, oh, maybe it's so injured it can't get any worse, but really, can it not get any worse? Like, I think it can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because even if, say, his whole pec is destroyed, but then he's like overcompensating a back muscle to, like, he could hurt himself somewhere else. Yeah, like that's.
Yeah. And didn't just like 3 weeks ago now, when they explained that Sasha and Naomi walked out, they said that's why we always say card subject to change. Blah blah blah
right.
blah. Hey, that's what you said then. You have a legit reason for that. That guy does not go anywhere near a ring.
Yeah,
I mean, he's getting surgery tomorrow.
I think it honestly is because the roster's pretty light right now. I mean, I don't want to, again, we keep saying we don't want to make this into an anti-WWE thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, AEW right now is missing Omega. They're missing Punk. At least for a short time, they're missing Adam Cole. They're missing Bryan Danielson, and we're still like, okay, who could challenge for the title? It could be Moxley. It could be Miro. It could be like they have a lot of people,
True.
and because of releases and people on part-time contracts and things like that, yeah, it's just him. He's the only one there. So I mean, he probably felt like he had to do it.
I get it, but
yeah,
at the same time, there's no way a normal physician lets anybody go out there and do that.
Right.
So
and also it sets a
me.
precedent for everything else. I mean, say next match there's a guy who's hurt but not that hurt and says, oh, I can't wrestle because I separated whatever, and then they're gonna be, well, he did it. Cody went out there. Why can't you?
Exactly. So, blah, whatever. Well, I don't watch it.
But the injuries continue. I know this wasn't on our outline, but there's a lot of interest. Apparently, Scorpio Sky's injured.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Apparently, Bryan Danielson's injured. Adam Cole still has a bit something. I mean, it sounds like he's just like banged up and he's resting. But
I was gonna say that they pretty much said that about Cole and Danielson. They said like 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, apparently Jeff Hardy's like destroyed, which if you've seen Jeff Hardy wrestle, it's understandable.
Yeah, like someone posted a thing the other day. They were like, "Oh, well, that's it for Jeff. He needs to retire." And that dude is, I mean, I don't think he's going to retire anytime soon, but he's no longer in a place where they're going to try to pressure him back. If anything, they'll make him take longer so he is 100%.
Oh yeah, I don't think when he's jumping off ladders onto people or jumping onto stairs that anyone's telling him. I think he wants to do that.
Oh,
I don't think it's just like kind of like Cody. Like I don't think he should be doing that necessarily, but he wants to do it.
Yeah,
I think Jeff, and I feel like I think we said this about Darby Allin too. I think someone needs to take both of them and be like, hey, you don't have to do that every show.
Yes.
You can swanton on the stairs on a pay-per-view, but then like the rest of the time, don't do that because you're gonna die.
Yeah, or be paralyzed.
Yeah, and I know they don't want to, especially in AEW. I know they kind of let the wrestlers plan their own matches, which is good because you get more creativity and you get more interesting stuff. Like it's good.
Yeah,
but it's also kind of dangerous.
Yeah, especially, we talked about several weeks now the WWE style versus the AEW style, and the AEW style being an indie style, and those guys and girls take that very seriously and to heart. Giving them a dance card wouldn't fly too well.
Right, as MJF mentioned, he doesn't do that. He's not dropping people on their necks and. It works so well. I'm sorry, it works so well.
No, you're totally right.
I came into this podcast being like, I was kind of annoyed at that promo, and now I'm like, no, it was actually the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It turns around. Like at the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is cool, and then like, actually, was it cool? And then I'm like, yeah, no, actually, it was cool.
It was so cool.
It like comes back around on you though. Like I said, I think you said you felt the same thing. Like first you were like kind of whiny, not really, and then you're like, no, actually, it was great. Like it comes around.
Yeah. He's so freaking good. And that promo, and I know we're going backwards a little bit, but that's okay. That promo also proved why he can only work there.
Right. And I know I saw someone, Meltzer or something, say that, apparently they're hearing that he was impressed with how WWE is treating Cody because they're letting Cody be Cody. Like they're letting him have his same entrance, but like Cody's character is a WWE character, essentially.
Yeah.
Not that they created the character, but like he fits.
Yes.
He's like a super face, good guy, safe American flag hero. Like, of course they're gonna let him do that. That's what he wants to be, and that's what they want him to be. Like he wants to be super face. MJF does not want to do that. MJF does not want to come out there and like, thank the audience and wave a flag. He wants to come out there and tell people to screw off.
Yeah, and flip off little kids.
Right.
Like all the things that corporate America would not let him do.
Right.
But talk about irony. If this is all real and he goes there and he becomes PG MJF,
Even better. Yeah.
even better. I mean, that
They
that
have
I get,
really set it up that no matter what happens with MJF, whether he ever wrestles for, I think it's a work, you think it's a work, but say it isn't, say for some reason it's not.
Yeah.
They've set it up so it works no matter what.
Yeah.
Like even if he ends up leaving, they can be like, well, he left because he couldn't cut it here. Like it works either way.
Yep. And it's it's set up perfectly in well now seeing it from the other side, it's set up perfectly. That's why I think this is things like this never work out when you fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah,
So
it's set up a little too perfectly for it to not be planned.
right. So okay, like even if they just wrote this out, there's no way they just wrote this out like even Saturday night. That's why I keep saying it was like the long con. And that's I'm gonna die on that hill. It's too
Yeah,
perfect.
it is too perfect. I mean, you could say maybe Tony and MJF are just really smart. Like they're really good at writing stories.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this my thinking initially was he wasn't going to walk out on Double or Nothing. I don't think that was ever a danger of him not showing up because even if he hates AEW and wants to go to WWE, he knows how WWE feels about guys walking out on the company.
Exactly.
So he's not going to do that.
Yes.
So I think that was never a real threat. I think maybe he had an argument with Tony Khan. If any of it was a shoot.
Right.
The part that I think is the shoot is he might have had an argument with Tony Khan on Saturday before Double or Nothing. He was all pissed off, and they were like, you know what? Don't go to your autograph signing. Don't go to your meet and greet because you're in a bad mood, and you're just gonna offend fans, or it's gonna be a big. So don't go. We'll explain it away. Don't worry about it. Just don't go. Go have fun in Vegas. So I think he did that. I think there was no danger of him actually missing the pay-per-view. And then I think there's a chance, apparently him and Tony Khan had a meeting on Monday. So, I mean, there is a chance that they came up with this storyline in the meeting on Monday.
I mean, they could have definitely. I just think too much lines up.
Right.
You know, I don't. Obviously, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't think anyone knows.
And that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, people were saying it seems like Brian Pillman when he left WCW.
Oh yeah, there's definitely Pillman vibes in this, and that's another thing. Like just lining things up. It's there. It was so good. Like it's even hard to put into words without repeating yourself.
It has more than probably any other angle in recent wrestling history. Maybe the Summer of Punk in 10 years ago. It has so many good possibilities for where it could go.
Yeah, I mean it was a classic Paul Heyman / ECW promo.
Right.
It catered to the smart fan. It didn't care if you didn't know what the word mark and work and shoot meant. It was happening in real time. Blah, blah, blah. There's nothing you can do. And, I mean, an F-bomb on national television.
Yeah. I like that it wasn't like a Vince Russo WCW shoot. Where where in those shoots they'd come out and go, "You booked me to lose tonight, and I'm not going to lose. I'm not," because that just makes it all look fake.
Right.
Like this even under the guise of say you're not a smart, quote unquote, smart fan, and you don't know, you just watch the shows. You're not paying attention to like backstage stuff. You don't have Twitter. You just watch on Wednesday and Friday. I mean, you may not have known all the terms. You might not have known how much money MJF makes compared to the other, but it still made sense to someone who hasn't seen any of this.
Yeah. It's
whereas like when Jeff Jarrett and Hulk Hogan came out and had their shoot, like unless you were reading the internet, you knew nothing about any of that stuff.
Exactly. Oh, that's what makes it so good.
It was a good way to do a worked shoot in
Yes.
2022, where people are smart and people pay attention and people always suspect angles.
Oh yeah,
It was a good way to do it.
totally agree.
And I mean, it even kind of plays into when you told me Cody was leaving AEW, my first thought was like, no, he's not. This is a work.
No, I definitely thought that was a work too.
And so but the fact that it already happened once,
Yeah,
where someone just left and went to WWE makes you feel like, oh, it could actually happen again. It did happen. If Cody hadn't left, this doesn't work as well.
that's also true. So again, all part of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Cody doesn't leave, like he has no leg to stand on, basically.
Right.
So you use that
because
to your
now
advantage.
he can say, oh, he didn't say this, but he can say Cody left and look how well he's doing.
Yeah,
I could do that too.
and everybody knows the real life friendship there too.
Right.
So
okay, we should move on.
we should move on.
But it's so good. But speaking of very good, and speaking of really cool upcoming things, we got to hear William Regal say blood and guts.
And it was so perfect. It was so good. And Eddie is working so well with the Blackpool Combat Club. I really dig this.
Yeah.
I hope.
I mean, him and Moxley, since when was it, last year? They got together, year and a half ago. They've been great together the whole time.
Oh, fantastic! I would really like to see, after Blood and Guts, I would really like to see Santana and Ortiz just be by themselves. So I hope Eddie joins. Like, I love Santana and Ortiz. They've just been in groups too much.
Right. I would like Eddie to be like, I can't think of a good example, but I want him to be like affiliated with the Blackpool Combat Club, but not in it.
Oh, okay. Like kind of
because
like
I don't see him as like a group guy. I see him as like he has friends that are his friends, but like he wants to be by himself.
That would be cool. That'd be super cool.
Because like Santana and Ortiz are his friends, but he doesn't have to join a stable with them. Moxie's his friend, but he doesn't have to join a stable with him. He can and it makes it more realistic too. Like, just because you have a friend, it doesn't mean like now you have to get matching T-shirts, right? I mean, it fits.
Right. And if someone needs, if Mox gets beat down at the beginning of a show one night, of course Eddie's gonna make the save. Or if Eddie gets beat down, there's people that you have his back. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but yeah, he's so good. This is so good. The match itself is going to be in Detroit in like a huge arena with a bunch of people. Yes. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it's how many they announced how many that arena can hold.
Yeah, I don't know what it is for a wrestling show.
Okay,
it's a big arena. I mean, the Red Wings play there.
It's very It's a normal size arena.
It holds, for hockey, it holds 19,000. For basketball, 20,000. So it's the same size as like the T-Mobile arena they were just in for Double or Nothing.
Oh, so they can get 20. Now, if they're doing that,
they can't get as many because they have to fit the two.
Oh, that's true.
The two rings.
The two rings. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Hold on a second here. WrestleTix on Twitter says the current setup is only set up for 10,000.
Okay.
And they've sold 8,000 already, but that doesn't include there's sections that are blocked off that I feel like they'll open up once they sell what they have.
Right, and that makes sense too, because then you could, if no one's buying tickets, you could say, "Oh, it's a sellout. We sold everything that was available."
Right, and otherwise, if they sell those 10,000, they can open up another couple thousand at the back, or
yeah. Oh, there you go.
But that'll be cool.
And that's going to be super cool.
I love the hair versus hair aspect of it too, because I think we were talking about on the pay-per-view how Jericho looked really bald.
Yeah.
And then Jericho probably saw that and was like, yeah, I do look really bald. And he's like, I have to get a reason to cut my hair. And this is the reason. Because for some reason, who attacked him? Santana or Ortiz? I don't remember.
Oh, Ortiz.
Ortiz attacked him and for no reason at all just cut his hair.
Yeah, that was,
Like, there's
he
no
pulled out
explanation for
scissors.
this. There's no
Yeah.
reason for why he just started cutting his hair. He just did. And like,
Now, again, for my own personal satisfaction, I hope Jericho loses, but just every week should a wig and claims his hair grows really fast. I swear to God, I want this
and
to
like,
happen.
not even like, I remember like Kurt Angle did that in WWE when he shaved his head. But like, his was clearly like a fake wig. I want
Right.
Jericho to get like a really good wig.
Oh yeah,
Like one that looks exactly like his hair the way it is now.
Yeah. And then just like every week, like maybe a different color or
or like a different style, but just be like, no, I just have really good hair. It just grows really fast.
It's like I'm a wizard.
Because I'm a wizard.
Yeah, I can just grow hair.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That's my own personal.
That would be fun. Jericho being bald would be very weird.
Someone actually photoshopped it, and he looked insanely normal.
Oh yeah, I guess maybe the tattoos make it better. Like Jericho in the '90s, bald would look weird, but maybe now he has tattoos, he looks better.
Yeah, true.
I feel like if you're bald, if you have tattoos, it kind of works better.
Thank you.
I just feel like that's how it goes.
It does.
Or a beard. A beard works better too.
Wow, thanks. I'm
not like trying to hit on you. I'm just saying.
Well, it's much appreciated. Apparently, I'm doing things right, being bald.
There you go. But yeah, that'll be fun.
Very fun. Do you think this will be the end? Do you think we get blood and guts and that's it, and the JAS is done, or do you think the JAS just moves on to something?
I think the JAS might move. I would like to. I mean, Blood and Guts is like a feud-ending match. It kind of has to end the feud.
Yeah.
But I do want to see another Jericho Eddie match, like one-on-one match.
I definitely would love to see that.
I think that would be a good, like, have the Blood and Guts, have Jericho lose, and then have him ask for a one-on-one match and then lose that one too.
I'm down.
But I think the JAS sticks around. I think they stay around as a group. I don't know for how long, but I think they stay around a little bit.
Well, hey, just give 2.0 Mike every week, and I'm happy.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love them.
So good.
They're like such an under the radar guys. Like when you think about AEW, you don't really think about them.
Yeah.
But then you see them and they cut a promo or they have them, and you're like, yeah, those guys are actually they're funny, but they're also just good at cutting promos.
Yeah. Oh, the one that they cut after the Anarchy in the Arena. Oh.
Yeah, that was great.
That was next level.
That was one of the ones where I wish they didn't show that on TV, right? I wish they would show some of those on TV.
No, that wasn't on TV. That was like
I know most AEW fans are like diehards, like they have a more hardcore audience, so I'm sure that most people watch those they watch Road 2s online.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know what kind of hits the Road 2s get to, but I kind of wish that they would show some of those things on the show.
Yeah, when they did the extended Road 2 on the beginning of the pay-per-view, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they could, sneak, maybe like 10 minutes start, like get 10 minutes at the beginning of, like from 7:50, and then run like the Road 2s.
Right, or at least plug it more, or plug it more on Dynamite, being like, okay, tune in to YouTube 10 minutes before to watch so people know it's a thing. Because I mean, unless you follow AEW online, you don't know that those exist, right? But
that's true.
They're really good, so they should be plugging them more.
So good. They're so good. Their production team and their writers and editors for those are fantastic.
Yeah, and they make the feuds seem. I mean, the feuds themselves are all pretty well done, but they make the feuds seem so much better. The fact that they have those, like every week, I watch it before Dynamite and just to nerd out and think how cool it is. And every week they're great.
Well, again, comes back. We always talk about Tony Khan comes from pro sports. The Jaguars may have been. I don't know this personally on that HBO Hard Knocks special. And
okay.
That's basically what the Road 2s are every week.
Right. And they're good. And yeah, Keep doing them.
they're like set up the same way, documentary style, and it'll give a little peek into the forbidden world a little bit. And I don't know if the Jaguars were on that show, but I'm sure Tony Khan knows of its existence.
He's at least seen it. Yeah. They do a really good job of it's documentary style, but it's in character, like it's storyline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely storyline, but yeah, shot documentary style is what I mean.
Yeah, but they do a great job of making it like it's a behind the scenes look at the wrestlers, but they're all still in character. Like it's really good.
Oh yeah, Road 2 it's like you really know that you're hitting close to Dynamite when the new Road 2 comes out.
Yeah.
and it just gets you that much more pumped.
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts on Athena's match with Kiera Hogan?
Really cool jacket with the wings. I love that. That looked great. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. She is going by Fallen Angel now. Or not Fallen Angel, Fallen
Goddess. What is it? Fallen Goddess, yes.
Fallen Goddess. Fallen Angel is Christopher Daniel.
Yes. The match, I don't know, it seemed a little like messy or off. Like there was something weird about it.
I agree. I don't want to knock anybody. I don't know if these girls have ever actually wrestled before, so that could have been a problem too.
Yeah. And I mean, Athena, she just showed up, right? So she could. I don't know how many indie dates she's worked in between when she left WWE. Like maybe she just hadn't wrestled much. I don't know.
She has run a few dates like leading up to this.
Yeah.
But again, like I mean, this might have been like her like sixth time in the ring post WWE. So
right, she left WWE a while ago. It was like 6 months ago or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because this wasn't like her 90 days has been up for a minute, but she really hasn't been doing too much.
November 4th, yeah, so more than 6 months.
Oh, there you go. I thought they did well, but I mean the match was just the setup, though. Obviously.
Yeah, the match itself doesn't really. It doesn't really matter.
Definitely going to be Athena and Jade.
Yes.
Now you asked me this last week, and apparently I didn't catch it, so I will answer it now. Yes, I do think Athena beats Jade, breaks the streak, and wins the TBS title eventually.
Yeah, I was torn on that because I mean she's new and she's already kind of over. So does she need it? But I mean, someone has to beat Jade, and it's not going to be. It has to be one of the top tier people. It's not going to be someone coming out of nothing. Right. So it has to be Athena. It's not going to be Britt Baker because she's off on her own.
And to me, like I think they want the TBS title to kind of be like the Intercontinental title or the TV title.
Like, so she's not going to go like
backwards.
She's not going to go down. She's not going to go down or back to it. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it could be Ruby, but it probably won't be Ruby because she seems like she's moved on. It could be Toni Storm. Or it could be Chris Statlander. Those are the only other people who make sense.
Oh, see, Stat would make a lot of sense too. Ooh.
That's the only thing is I don't know if they'll give it to her, but I think out of everyone and I mean that's the point of the storyline. I'm assuming is out of everyone she's faced, this is the most likely she is to lose.
Right. It's a good call.
So she would she lose? Because I mean she's kind of allied with Statlander now. Would she lose and then Statlander gets involved, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could do with that title, like kind of like the men do with the TNT title, like whenever like Bobby Fish debuted and he challenged Sammy, like Sammy's like, oh yeah, my buddy from the Indies, blah 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 blah. Like, I respect you, I'll take you on. Like the girls could do that, even though they're like on the same side. Like if Athena,
yeah, because I mean I think I do want to see Statlander go after it because I like her. She's really good.
Oh,
I think she needs something to do.
And she does need something to do. She just beat up Chuck Taylor on BT. Hilarious. And they were basically, it's good. See, okay, that makes sense. Now, do you hold off on that? Like, do you do a slow build
until the pay-per-view?
Yeah, like
when's not Forbidden Door? When's the next one? September, right? All Out.
Yeah, unless they would have the women's. There is a Ring of Honor one in July.
Okay, and we didn't mention this yet, but there is but they could do a Battle of the Belts. That's August, right?
Oh yeah, they could do Battle of the Belts. Man, AEW's booked. They have something major all the way till fall. They have
Are
Forbidden
those
Door this month.
those
Ring of
those are
Honor,
on TNT though, right? Battle of the Belts.
Battle of the Belts, yeah. But I mean, that's like one of their major on
Yeah,
TV things.
I just feel like they might want the TBS title to change hands on TBS.
Ah, it's true.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. Like then it wouldn't be on, it would be on Dynamite then.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and that is on Rampage. So that's.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long
That's
you hold it off for, because you can't drag it out that long. I mean, if she's going to beat her, it can't go on forever. Like you don't want to have it go. You don't want it to be Sammy and Scorpio where they feud for months and months and months.
That is true. That is true.
But I don't know. It seems a little weird for her to show up and then within a month beat the undefeated champion. But I mean, it would also put her over really well. And so I mean, at this point, I don't think it's going to hurt Jade to lose now. Like she's been undefeated for long enough that she could lose and it'd be fine.
Yes. And she has the whole entourage.
Yes, I love that she's building an entourage. That's great.
It's
now she gets
amazing.
What's Stokely what's his title now?
I think he's like mouthpiece, like manager ish.
They gave him a title though, like not PR person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they gave him a title.
Oh, I didn't even know. That's amazing.
I don't think it's like public relations. I think it's like I forget what it is now. But yeah, they gave him a title.
Wow. I did not know that, and that's amazing.
He has a role. I forget what they called it, but
he is gonna. I mean, Smart Mark Sterling is very good on the mic, but Stokely Hathaway is like he's a manager. He's more of a manager than Smart Mark, if that makes sense. Like Smart Mark's like actual wrestler, but he understands it. But Stokely is a legit manager. He is gonna, like I said, Jade can talk, and she's not gonna have to ever open her mouth again.
Right.
He is gonna put her through the moon. Oh, I'm glad he has a title too. That's amazing.
I wish I could find it now. He does have a title, and I forget what it is. Yeah, he's not like public relations, but he's something along those lines. It's really good.
It is so good.
It's really good. And short sidetrack into Smart Mark. He's suing Wardlow for attacking referees.
Yes.
I wonder where they're going with that, because at first you're like, why are they doing an angle where a non-wrestler? I mean, Smart Mark wrestles, but he's on AEW. He's not a wrestler.
Right.
Why are they doing an angle where a non-wrestler is suing Wardlow over? Is this like what is this going to turn into?
I don't know, but it's amazing. Again on BTE, there's he has like an infomercial in the middle of BTE, and he interviews all the people that Wardlow beat up and destroyed.
That's funny.
I will say, the one dude that Wardlow threw off the page a few weeks ago, someone like he tweeted out after like the show or whatever, he was like, "Guys, I'm still under the ring. No one's come to get me yet." I was like, "That dude gets wrestling." Yeah, like that dude gets wrestling.
Oh, Stokely's her publicist.
Oh, that's so good.
That's what it is.
That is so good. So she has a publicist, a lawyer, and the baddies.
Yeah, I love that. Amazing. I really think she should just keep adding to her. Like she has like a hair and makeup person who comes with her. Yep. She should have like a money manager who comes with her. She should have like
a driver.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Add in just a bunch of people. And they don't have to be wrestlers. They don't have to say anything. They can just stand around. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh, that'd be perfect. Perfect. What were your thoughts on Mox versus Garcia?
It was good. Personal thing, they don't have to bite each other so much. I mean, I know that's a thing that's like an indie thing that people do now. I think Renee was actually saying that, being like, you don't have to keep biting people. Other than that, it was good. I mean, Moxley dropped him on the stairs, and I honestly thought he died.
that was gnarly.
But yeah, it was good.
I agree. Daniel Garcia is gonna be a big thing, soon. He is so good. It's just you shouldn't be that good and that young. But
And I like that it had Regal and Jericho on commentary, like kind of taking shots at each other, and Jericho saying Regal wanted him in the Black Bolt Combat Club, and Regal being like, "Yes, I did. Of course I did." But it was good.
That was.
It put him over really well.
Yeah, I think they're going to lean into that a little bit. I think the Blackpool Combat Club maybe is going to extend a hand or something, and maybe put a little division between Garcia and the JAF.
That makes sense.
I hope so. I think that was a little tidbit.
Yeah.
And now again, how awesome was the Lucha Bros in the Bucks?
The Bucks, I know they were in California and where they're from, so of course they were going to put on. They were going to do extra. Yes. But they had one hell of a week.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, their matches were awesome, and I think I've mentioned this before. I've never been, super sold on the Bucks. A lot of their stuff, I feel like it seems a little contrived. It seems a little like, their wrestling seems a little too staged in some points to me.
Mm-hmm.
But when they have big matches, and they go all pun intended. They go all in.
They do
for those matches. Like the Lucha Bros match was ridiculous. It was so good.
So good.
And the 8-man or 10-man, right? Yeah, 10-man tag. Also really good.
Oh yeah. How good's Piccolo or how did he? It's Piccolo.
Yeah, that was cool to have him there.
That was really cool. I mean, it's Bullet Club guy, and they mentioned a little bit of Jay White. Like they pulled some strings with Jay White. So I think this is the beginning of everyone knows that the Bucks are heel, but we're gonna get full blown nasty Bullet Club Bucks at Forbidden Door. And
one thing I noticed was Adam Cole on commentary. He was on commentary both nights, I think. And both times he mentioned that the Bucks are the best tag team in wrestling.
Yes.
Which I wouldn't. I understand why someone would say that, but what is Red Dragon gonna have to say about that?
That's a good call.
Because aren't they his buddies? Yeah, they're his buddies. Like he brought them into AEW. Why is he calling the Bucks the best tag team in wrestling and not them?
Well, they're also not Bullet Club, correct?
That's true. I feel like you're right. I think the Bullet Club has to be involved, especially at Forbidden Door. Like they have to do something. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how it's gonna turn out with the Bucks and Hangman and but it'll be cool. Yeah,
the Bucks teased the Hung Bucks doing a three-way with Hangman.
Right. Didn't they change their banner?
Yeah, they changed their Twitter banner to them three. So that was a Bullet Club thing. There's so many ways, but we only have this little bit of time. So much is going to happen again this week.
And I feel like they were hinting kind of a little bit at the Bucks going after the tag titles again.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
And I don't know if they're going to be the ones to take it from Jurassic Express. But I feel like they could.
I definitely feel like they could. I would much rather see FTR.
Yeah, so would I.
I think they deserve a babyface run with the titles.
Right.
I mean, their first run with the titles was awesome. But now that the crowd's behind them, they need that merch money.
Yeah.
Let them get some of that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Young Bucks have a lot of other things they could be doing.
Yeah. And like I said, and going into Forbidden Door is literally 3.5 weeks away.
Yeah. It's weird having AEW pay-per-view so close. And I know this is not a full AEW pay-per-view, but it is.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying a few minutes ago, they have Forbidden Door this month. Then there's Ring of Honor pay-per-view in July. There's Battle of the Belts in August, and then All In September. I mean,
right.
That's weird for AEW to be have 4 big things in a row. It's usually
Yeah,
4
have like a
year.
month, have like a monthly event. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool because that means more wrestling.
And yeah, this is and I like the theme dynamites. I like when they have like
Oh,
blood
those
and
are
guts
so
theme
cool.
dynamites. Like those are
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, those are
I mean,
so
that'll
cool.
be there's going to be so much because like this is going to be a huge show obviously on Wednesday because they're doing the title stuff.
Yeah,
And then then they have ROH stuff. They have even without blood and guts, the Detroit show would be big because it's in a big arena. So whenever they're in a big arena, they do a big show.
yeah, and isn't it a debut in Detroit also?
Yeah.
So there you go.
So like the one they just had in LA in a big arena in a debut, they had a knockout show, so they can definitely do something like that. It's getting good.
It's getting very good. It's getting like scary good. Like to the
I mean,
point
they haven't announced
they
haven't announced anything else for Dynamite, have they?
No, just the
title stuff.
Just the title stuff. Yeah. And even tonight, I watched Dark, and the only thing they announced was Battle of Belts, which I thought was weird. They announced it on Dark, but hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I loved the heel win by the Bucks against the Lucha Brothers. I thought that was awesome because it's obviously got to set up another match.
Right. I know they've done the taking off Penta's mask thing a couple times, but yes. I like it. I think it's fun.
Oh yeah, and I love how Excalibur always explains if these were AAA rules, it would be a disqualification. And it's like, okay, like now everybody that watches AEW knows that. But I just think that's funny that he knows that and throws that in.
And I like because he throws it in as if there was any chance of it being AAA. Like, why would it be AAA rules?
Yeah.
Like of course it's not. Of course it's not. It's a different company.
Yes. That is true. I never even thought of that. That's hilarious.
But you're right. He just puts it out there to be like, just so you know, I'm aware of this.
Yes. Oh, dude, I would love to sit down and talk to Excalibur. Like,
I honestly don't understand how he calls. He knows every move, and especially it's harder in AEW because I mean they don't script the matches as well, right? Like they don't script them as much as a lot of companies do. So I'm sure like Moxley or Danielson are they're just doing stuff. They probably didn't tell anyone, right?
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
How does he know what to call it? Like I don't understand. I mean, I guess there's a chance. No, there's not a chance. I was thinking, could he just be making things up? But no, the internet would call him out if he was wrong.
Oh, 100%. The internet would eat him alive.
Yeah.
Those first episodes of Dynamite back in the day of Jim Ross and Shivani, like having literally no idea what Excalibur was saying when he was calling the moves.
Excalibur calling a move and Jerry being like, all right then, yes.
Yeah. Like they would laugh when he called it a tope suicida. Like they would literally audibly laugh. It was so interesting to see them grow.
I like them as a team. I mean, I know it's a little weird that they're both like both JR and Excalibur are technically play-by-play guys, so I get it, and I get that the internet gets mad when JR makes mistakes, but like he's Jim Ross, so like that's fine.
Exactly. Yeah,
I like them. I think, and I like JR and Tony are clearly they're just friends. Like I like it.
Oh, the 3-man booth is it's I personally like it better. The 2-man booth only worked with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. Fight me over it. You won't win.
I actually really liked SmackDown and like when it was Michael Cole and Taz. They were really good. See,
I do not like Michael Cole. I cannot.
I don't like Michael Cole, but maybe it was just Taz. Maybe it was just Taz who's good.
Taz was amazing.
I think they should trim the Rampage one. They don't need Jericho.
I agree. They don't need Jericho. Sometimes when he goes nuts, it's funny.
Right.
But I just think
he could be like a guest commentator. He could show up for like one match a night or something and just be there, but he doesn't have to do the whole show. I think if it was Excalibur and Taz and Ricky Starks, that's good.
Yeah. And,
I forget that Ricky Starks is there half the time because he barely says anything.
It blows my mind that he's that good at commentary. Like, where did he ever do that before?
That's why I would like Jericho off of it more, because then he could do it. Like he doesn't get to speak much because there's 4 of them, right? He hardly gets to say anything.
Yeah. What a week.
And I actually kind of like. I know we're just been along now, but I actually kind of like. I've seen a couple darks where it's Paul White and Mark Henry. I actually kind of like them.
Who was that?
Paul White and Mark Henry on commentary.
Oh, you broke up there for a second.
Sorry. Yeah, I like them. Paul White and Mark Henry when they call dark. I like them.
They have such a good chemistry, and it's like Shivani and JR. You can tell they're friends.
Yeah, I mean they're not Excalibur. They're not calling moves,
right?
But they have they get along. They're funny. They make little jokes to each other. Like I think I like it.
Oh, they're really coming into their own. I know Paul White did he would do some minor commentary in WWE, but Mark Henry really never did anything like that.
No, I don't think he ever did anything. I think he didn't even do any backstage stuff. He was a wrestler. That's it.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to. Like I said, I haven't watched the product in a long time on that end, so he might have one time, but I didn't want to assume that he did. But for him to just be doing this for about a year now, he's been there.
Yeah,
roughly. I think he's doing a great job. I mean, most people wouldn't be able to be thrown into that and be able to.
And I sent you a message when he did the Takeshita match, and randomly he just he's an attractive man.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
He just threw that out there. I'm not attracted to men, but if I was.
Right. He said something good tonight on Dark, and I can't think of what it was. But it was something along those lines where he put his foot in his mouth in a good way, but they just went with it. It was good.
They're funny. I like them.
I agree. They're very good, and it gives them it gives AEW some variety.
Right.
And they have Caprice Coleman's been doing some elevation, so okay. I hope they keep him on there. That's usually Excalibur, Taz, and the past 2 weeks, Caprice Coleman's been there, but hopefully he's there tomorrow. I don't know. But
and then Taz is good. I just like Taz.
Oh, Taz is fantastic.
I would they have a lot of commentators, so they don't need this, but I would like them to fit William Regal in more often too, because I like his commentary.
I like how he calls the Blackpool Combat Club matches. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I really like how he explains why they're doing the moves.
Yes, the knowledge there and explaining it to the fans is fantastic.
It's very diverse commentaries. I mean, they have Excalibur, who really knows all the technical terms for everything. They have someone like William Regal, who knows the reasoning behind it. They have JR and Shivani, who are just really into wrestling.
And they have over
they have Taz, who's kind of in the middle of both of those. He has his goofy moments, but he's actually good at calling the match too. They're all good.
They are all It's less than you could say about the other product.
But yeah, when you need to put something over as a big deal, I like JR.
Oh, JR could, there could be a jar of mayonnaise in a ring and JR could put it over and people be cheering for it.
But yeah, big week coming up. Anything else?
I don't have anything else, man. I would like to say last week was our biggest week, so let's keep those numbers going up. We had the most listens ever last week, so thank you everybody for listening and subscribing. I always forget to say that. I have to learn my internet lingo.
You little YouTube spiel at the end, or subscribe, tweet at us, whatever.
Yeah. I have
get
to
notifications.
Down.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for everybody for listening and for the subs. That's cool. And Rick, you said you had nothing else?
I'm good. I'm just excited.
Same here. I'm very excited. It's been another fun one. We will see you next week. Later.